Oh goodness, one of certainly the biggest challenges for a lot of people is an employee who can't be on time to save their life. It drives you crazy. And you say to them, you need to be on time, you need to be on time. I might suggest that you look at having a conversation with them that's a little different than you got to be on time. Ask them what being on time is. Is it 5 of 8? Is it, if your work hour starts at 8, when in your mind are they late? Are they late quarter till, 10 till, 5 till? I will tell you, in my business, in my office, my staff is late when they aren't sitting at their desk when our phones are supposed to be turned on and people begin calling at 8 a.m. I don't want them talking about last night's reality show in the kitchen while they're heating up their coffee and making breakfast and then running down to the little corner shop to pick up breakfast. That's not being on time. On time is, in my world and in my view, and my employees know this, is everybody sitting at their desk with their breakfast in hand, their coffee in hand, and everything else. And the phones are started and they're working. Computers are being booted up, all of that piece. So that's incredibly important, because in their mind, being on time may be 8:15, 8:20. Is it okay for them to text you that they're running late? Some places say, absolutely, we want to text, but you have no documentation of that. So I always recommend a phone call or a voicemail, whatever works for you in your business, to let you know, and then document them. Remember, when you document someone's absences and tardies and everything else, you need to not just do one person. You need to do everybody in your office to talk about, okay, on December 7th, everybody, you know, Jenny was on time, Jenny at 7:55, you know, Susie at 6:30, Marcia at 7:25, you know, whatever it is, then the time that they came in, you want to document across the board, and you want to treat equally across the board. I have seen cases where somebody who understandably had been late over and over and over again, and they claimed that they were discriminated against when they were terminated, and they had been put on a plan and been managed to that plan. But the reality was, the auditor found in their favor that they were discriminated against because they didn't have the same kind of documentation with the other employees. So document universally. Make sure, as if it's an issue they can't seem to figure out, you can't fix it, then what I would suggest is that you work for a performance improvement plan stating that they cannot be late anytime in the next 30 days. You may say at any time in the 30 days, it'll result in automatic termination. So you're giving them a month. And then at that month, they can have, you're gonna revisit that. If they haven't been late, you're gonna revisit, you're gonna say, over the next 60 days, you're allowed 1 absence, 1 tardiness. The same goes through with an absence. If, you know, a lot of employees will say, well, what's the big deal? If I'm not here, you don't have to pay me. Well, I have to pay other people overtime. I have to pay other people, or I have to bring in a temp that costs more money than what they're actually would cost. So consider some of the different nuances and make sure that if someone has excessive tardiness, that you're addressing it and that you're drawing the line to say you've gone too far. This is the line. You can't be absence within the next 30 days. And you manage to that. But make sure, again, that when you manage to that, you're doing the same with every single employee. Good luck.